Part 48. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjio Old Thief. Chapter 471. Wang San, Zhang Ziyuan. Currently following Zhang Yun. This news made Ye Bai fall into deep thought. What is the deep meaning behind Master Zhu's arrangement? What if it wasn't Master Zhu's arrangement? Zhang Yun, Zhang Ziyuan's hidden line doesn't look like Zhu Ye's handwriting. Zhu Yu's layout is often bold and broad-based. Lay out the big picture and play big chess. Thunder thunders in silent places. There are too many doubts about Zhang Yun's line, and it also involves Lian Liankan, Xiao Ziyao. Thinking of this, Ye Bai was stunned and couldn't help but swear. Damn, it's dark under the light. Xiao Ziyao's last words were for Zhang Yun. Who asked Xiao Ziyao to leave his last words? Carefree. Who asked Ye Bai to come to the ninth abyss? Still happy. This is not Ying Jibu's plan at all. Ye Bai suddenly broke into a cold sweat and thought of another thing. If this is Xiao's game, it means that Xiao is watching at this time. And Ye Bai just cursed. Ye Bai said fiercely. You didn't hear anything just now? Everyone? Just when Ye Bai was thinking about this, the call time was almost over. Ye Bai called Huo Tianyi over. Xiao Huo, I want to tell you something important. Huo Tianyi walked up to Ye Bai with a vigilant look on his face. He didn't know what kind of medicine he was selling in his gourd. Ye Bai held Huo Tianyi's shoulders, and the two stood in front of the space passage. Ye Bai suddenly slapped Huo Tianyi on the back. Let's go. Among those at the same level, Huo Tianyi was no match for Ye Bai. Even if Huo Tianyi was on guard and Ye Bai was ready to attack, Huo Tianyi couldn't resist this move of Thunder Palm. This palm has some personal grudges. The moment he was hit by the Thunder Palm, Huo Tianyi suddenly flew into the space channel. After devouring Huo Tianyi, the space channel was properly closed. After sending Huo Tianyi away, Ye Bai felt relieved. Get rid of your baggage and travel light. The upcoming battle starts at level 990, so there is no room for Huo Tianyi to intervene. It's better to take this opportunity to send him away first and get a little revenge. Wouldn't it be nice to kill two birds with one stone? Ye Bai said confidently. Next is the battlefield for the strong. The ninth demon god, Shadow 3, Shura. We are too strong. That. Seeing Shura being so interested, Su Qingfeng was a little embarrassed to disturb him. I haven't gotten in the car yet. Ye Bai turned around and saw Su Qingfeng standing awkwardly on the spot. Behind him were countless vicious demon war gods, and in front of him was the ninth demon god. Once a fight breaks out, Lao Su will be the first to become cannon fodder. Ye Bai's expression froze. How could I forget Lao Su? After all, he is a ninth level war god, so saving his life shouldn't be difficult. Just when Ye Bai was thinking this, the demon emperor's palace suddenly shook. The ninth demon god sneered and whispered. The channel has been opened. Fifth brother is coming, they are coming. Ye Bai looked outside the demon emperor's palace. The fifth demon god bent on death is about to arrive on the battlefield. The demon ancestor is about to arrive on the battlefield. Current survival rate, 100%. Just when Ye Bai breathed a sigh of relief, Tanyan sent a surprise. Current survival rate, 99.99%. Backstab, right? The fight is about to begin, why not lower the survival rate here? Ye Bai's mouth twitched and he threatened in a low voice. Don't even think about the third awakening. It's okay not to have this broken eye. Two flowers bloom, one on each side. The fifth abyss. Under the escort of Shadow King San, Zhang Yun successfully broke through. He did not die in the demonic tide. Because Mo Tide has more important tasks to do. Driven by the legion of monsters, they rushed towards the passage and headed towards the ninth abyss. By some mistake, Zhang Yun's life was saved. Zhang Yun, who was out of danger, was lying in a pile of rocks, not far away from the demonic Tide army. Once discovered, there is only one word: death. He did not let down his guard and looked at Wang San immediately. "Senior, are you out of the way?" The shadow with red eyes answered mechanically. "I am ordered by Yingju." I communicated with Wang San several times, and the other person kept repeating this sentence over and over again. Zhang Yun frowned and began to think about countermeasures. In this case, there are also corresponding preparation plans. Release a signal for help, stay where you are, and wait for the garrison to rescue you. According to the plan, Zhang Yun took out the signal bomb and prepared to launch it. Biu-biu. Before the signal bomb reached its peak, it was held by an invisible hand. Zhang Yun's face darkened and he secretly thought something was wrong. He dropped the long knife into his hand and looked around cautiously. "Look what I found." A charming female voice sounded, and several figures appeared one after another around the pile of rocks. "Little brother, come out and play. I haven't seen children your age for a long time." 6 people in total. Zhang Yun cast his gaze over and found that these people were surrounded by demonic energy, and he immediately made a guess about the identity of the enemy. People who take refuge in the demon cult will flee into the abyss once their identities are exposed. The 6 people in front of me were obviously members of the demon cult and had been living in the abyss for many years. "Little brother, your name is Zhang Yun, right?" A mature and plump woman stepped forward and said softly. "Everything my lord promised you before is still valid. You just need to nod your head and you can reach the sky in one step." While speaking, the woman's eyes were playful. The way she looked at Zhang Yun was like looking at a toy, playing with him like a cat playing with a mouse. Zhang Yun snorted coldly. "What if I refuse?" A 3-meter-tall strong man roared. "Refuse? Then go and die." As he spoke, he swung the giant axe in his hand and chopped off Zhang Yun's head directly. Boom! Wang San blocked the opponent's attack again. As a price, Wang San's body became a little more bloody. "Careful!" the strong man with the giant axe roared. "There's something weird about this guy's shadow." Everyone in the demon cult exclaimed. "It's Blood Shadow. Why does Blood Shadow go to the battlefield? Is Shadow already so short of people?" Several members of the demon cult discussed in a low voice and looked at Zhang Yun with a somewhat fearful look. The woman from before spoke again. "Brother Zhang, how about we make a new deal?" "Oh." He glanced at Wang San beside him. He didn't understand these words at all and only knew to guard Zhang Yun. 1. Zhang Yun did not deny it. "Hand over the Blood Shadow, we will help you kill him, and we will also help him relieve his pain, which is regarded as a good deed, ha ha ha." Zhang Yun looked at the other party warily and put on a posture of listening. "We have 4 war gods, 2 war kings, and many monsters here." Zhang Yun's face turned pale when he heard the threats. "Change." 2. "If you don't change, I will chop you first, and then force him to completely turn into a blood shadow, leaving him to live in pain for 1800 years. They are tempting Zhang Yun and testing people's hearts. This deal is a handout from them. I won't hide it from you." Once he completely transforms into a blood shadow and cannot distinguish between friend and foe, he staying by your side is not a protection, but a threat. Zhang Yun's face turned pale as he looked at the 6 rampant demon sect members. What's more, after a series of fights, Wang San's state was not quite right, and he was obviously at the end of his strength. At the end of the sentence, everyone in the demon cult laughed strangely. "Just pretend what happened here never happened. If you return to the human race and continue to be your hero, we will not threaten you. It's not impossible to cooperate again when there is an opportunity in the future," the woman said slowly. The woman made a condition. Zhang Yun looked down at the blood sea medal on his chest, and heard the threatening countdown in his ears. The laughter is cruel, cold, and inhuman. And you only have a king-level shadow protection. In terms of strength, we have the upper hand. No matter how strong Wang San is, he is still no match for the god of war. Not long after the woman finished speaking, the strong man with the giant axe shouted, "If you want to change it, please give me a happy message. Now is not the time to be a hero, we must find ways to delay time." At this point, the woman paused for a moment. Seeing that Zhang Yun seemed to be a little moved, she continued. "Indeed. Based on their experience, things like the human heart cannot stand the test the most." He gritted his teeth and cursed. "We let you go, leaving this bloody shadow beside you. 3. Change your mother." Just when the other party was about to take action, Zhang Yun spoke. "Online games, only I can see hidden information." Author, Minjai Old Thief. Chapter 472. The Fifth Abyss. Zhang Yun's words made everyone in the demon cult present look cold. "I like hard bones best." A skinny old man, with only a few withered yellow hair left on his head, holding a necromancy staff in his bone-like hands. His voice was hoarse and he said, "Don't rush to kill him, the wailing soul is the most delicious. Wait a little longer, and this blood shadow will completely lose control. By then, he. Among this group of demons, sinister laughter could be heard again. The paleness on Zhang Yun's face faded, and there was a will to die in his brows. Trying to escape now seems like a foolish dream. Zhang Yun is not afraid of death. His father also died on the battlefield of the abyss. The issue is..." Zhang Yun looked at Wang San in front of him. He was willing to die, and he couldn't let his seniors suffer together. If senior Wang San really becomes a blood shadow, he will be completely out of control. Zhang Yun's left hand touched something cold. This was a prop given to him by the leader of the Blood Navy. After using it, both jade and stone will be destroyed. He will let the seniors escape from the sea of suffering. Zhang Yun glanced at everyone in the demon sect, leading these bastards to die together. You can't hide the murderous look in your eyes. Amid the arrogant laughter of everyone in the demon cult, a pair of eyes were watching everything coldly from the shadows. Shadow 10 in the shadow took out a magical conch and sent a message to the other side. "The current situation is..." After briefly explaining the situation, Shadow 10 asked at the end of the interrogation. "Fourth Master, can you take action now?" Soon, a reply from the Fourth Master came from the conch. "Wait. The ninth abyss thousands of miles away." Ye Bai put away the magical conch and his heart felt as if water had stopped. The situation is now clear. The entire battlefield is divided into two parts. The fifth abyss and the ninth abyss. For the human race, the fifth demon god is an extremely special existence. First of all, because he is a native demon. Killing the fifth demon will only make the strongest demon stronger. Starting from the first generation of the most powerful nightmare, the attitude towards the fifth demon has been very clear. Do not kill. At the same time, for some reason, the fifth demon is bent on death. The demon army under him is the most ferocious and is the thorn in the abyss. Following this line of thinking, it is not difficult for Ye Bai to guess. Just because the fifth demon god can't kill him, doesn't mean that the Abyss Legion under the fifth demon god can't kill him. Xiang Zhuang dances with his sword, aiming at Pei Gong. This time, it's really a hungman banquet. The human race is making a move in the ninth abyss. After the fifth demon god and the monsters escaped from the abyss of the strongest abyss enter the game. Let's sneak attack on the fifth demon god's hometown again. All tactics turn to stealing homes. What Ye Bai can figure out, the fifth demon god can also figure out. He was willing to get involved for only one reason, he wanted to die. Obviously. The monster from the abyss has something in its hand that can make the fifth demon feel a fatal threat. The situation in the ninth abyss has become clear. The game of the fifth abyss is Xiao's handiwork. Ye Bai still doesn't know what the third brother wants to do. However, Ye Bai also joined in. He sent Shadow 10 to follow Zhang Yun, who could rescue him at a critical moment. At the same time, in order to sneak attack on the fifth abyss, Ye Bai also sent out a capable general, the top combat power of Shadow, the second Master Ying. As long as the second Master Ying attacks, everything will be fine. In just a few breaths, it was extremely difficult for Ye Bai to think clearly about this. The Demon Emperor's palace shook violently, and the door opened again. A middle-aged man wearing a dragon robe swaggered into the Demon Emperor's palace of the ninth demon god. The middle-aged man has a hooked nose, deep eye sockets, and a sinister expression. A smile appeared on his face and he said cheerfully, "Laoju, your fifth brother is here to see you. After the death of fifth brother, are you interested in becoming the fifth demon god?" Laughter spread throughout the Demon King's palace, and all the low-level monsters were trembling and huddled up. Su Qingfeng felt a chill on his back, and the cold wind couldn't stop pouring into his heart. This was his first time seeing this scene. The entire ninth abyss. The two pairs of crouching dragon and phoenix chicks, the fifth demon god and the ninth demon god, have been gathered together. There are also powerful monsters from the abyss, as well as Shadow 3. There are more than 5 existences above level 995 here. You know, these existences are not projections, but real entities. Moreover, there are no spectators here, no spectators. They are all involved in this whirlpool and will end up personally, fighting to the death. Since the end of the bloody battle, there has never been a melee with so many strong men in history. Su Qingfeng, with all his virtues and abilities, became a witness to this war. "Lao Su, don't be afraid," Shura said in a deep voice. "If you have any last words, you still have time to say them now." Su Qingfeng thought for a while and squeezed out a sentence. "I don't want to die." "Seems a little timid." Su Qingfeng added. "I don't want to die like this. It would be too cowardly to die at the hands of the devil with no ability to fight back. Think on the bright side." Ye Bai comforted. "If you are beaten to death by the 8th level god of war, it will be a lifelong shame for you. If you are killed by the devil, it may be the highlight of your life." Hiss. It sounds like it makes sense. While the two were chatting, 2 groups of black mist followed behind the 5th demon god. 2 groups of black mist protected a closed cube and walked into the main hall. Ye Bai held his breath and looked forward. The black mist on the left is a piece of wood. This black mist on the right, an angel, demon. To be honest, there may be no difference between them. There is a level 1000 being sealed in this cube. Do you want to hang out with him? Ye Bai frowned slightly and thought of a detail. Third brother went to Ye Bai's exclusive space 2 days ago. The wasteland elf turned into a piece of wood. Combined with their previous experiences, all vampires will turn into pigs in front of Xiaoao. Does that mean, the ancestor of elves is also wood? So this is I understand. That's it? As for the black mist on the right, angel or demon? The ancestor of the devil that Ye Bai wants to deal with? There is no clue yet, and Ye Bai can't draw a conclusion. The second awakening of the Eye of Insight is crumbs. If a level 1000 being in the cube really dares to come out, Ye Bai has nothing to worry about. At level 1000, it is no longer an ordinary monster and requires a powerful attack. Ye Bai withdrew his gaze, and the 5th demon god also happened to look at him. To be precise, the 5th demon god happened to be looking at Ye Bai's shadow. "It's really you." The 5th demon god snorted coldly and recognized the other party's identity. "The last time we met, I thought he looked familiar." The dignified beloved son of the abyss actually became a dog for the humans. "Ying-san, you are really promising." In the shadows, a strong man with bones all over his body walked out again. Ying San didn't pay attention to the fifth demon god's insults. When it comes to bad breath, the fifth demon god is not as good as Huo Tianwang. In fact, there was a time when the fifth demon god humbly learned from King Huo about bad breath. It's a pity that Madman Huo is so talented that even a demon can only scratch the surface. Etc. The fifth demon's face turned cold, and he stared at Ying San, his voice trembling slightly. You are alive, you are in the shadow. So, where is my son? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjai Old Thief. Chapter 473. Archives of the Strongest. File number, 001. Confidentiality level, top secret. Eternal ID, nightmare. Talent name, dreams come true, SSS level. Record, entered the abyss for the first time at level 200, and once killed the son of the fifth demon. File views, 3. File storage location, Wanwu Pavilion. Shadow file. File number, 002. Confidentiality level, top secret. Codename, Shadow 2. Experience, joined the Nightmare Legion 100 years ago and served as deputy commander of the Nightmare Legion. He resigned yesterday. Number of file views, 9999 plus. Archive location, Shadow Castle. The Fifth Abyss. A crack opened in the dark sky, and a shadow lurked outside. Shadow took courage and asked in a low voice. Dad, are you at home? Father. The voice echoed in the sky above the fifth abyss, and Wu Emo responded. There are only some powerful monsters with deep experience, and the voice feels familiar. Like the fifth demon god's abnormal brain son. Impossible, absolutely impossible. The son of the devil, besides having an abnormal brain, was also very unlucky. When the abyss opened, the nightmare, a level 200 supreme seed at that time, accidentally broke into the fifth abyss. Coincidentally, Nightmare happened to bump into the son of the fifth demon. The human race said to the outside world that the son of the devil was killed by the nightmare. Since the fighting situation between the two tribes was extremely fierce at that time, not many people paid attention to this small matter. After the Black Shadow finished shouting, he waited for a moment without a response, and said to himself. Bad thing, Dad seems to be out. Nonsense, we ran away from home, we must come back when Dad is not around. Bad thing, run faster. I haven't been home for 100 years. I miss my little bear. What are you urging us to do? Master Ju taught us back then that we should return home rich and noble, and walk at night in brocade clothes. Ah, Master Ju is giving you extra lessons again? What does this sentence mean? What this sentence means is that when you get rich, you have to be secretive when you go home, and take advantage of the darkness to avoid being noticed by bad guys. Master Ju is right, but aren't we the worst? He he he. Ha ha ha. The air was filled with the smell of schizophrenia. Brush. The Black Shadow passed through the gap at an extremely fast speed. When the Black Shadow entered the fifth abyss, the entire sky darkened. The abyss origin of the fifth abyss can be manipulated by the Black Shadow at will without any difficulty. Seeing that it was getting dark, Haiying quickly put on a brocade coat with the words "You can't see me" written on it. Walking in brocade at night is worthy of its name. It's dark, run faster. Before she could even take 2 steps, the bad woman stopped. Dad has found out. The bad woman howled and cried. Bad guys, Dad is coming to kill us, will you? Dad is busy committing suicide right now and can't take care of us. The bad man quickly comforted him. Besides, even if he wants to take action, Dad will kill Shura first and then us. Fourth master is blocking the knife for us. Thinking of this, the bad man couldn't help but sigh. Fourth master is a good man. The bad woman sobbed and nodded, rubbing her nose on Ir Ying's sleeve, and echoed. Fourth master is indeed a good man. Ninth master never let us go home before. SHH, keep your voice down. Don't let others hear you. Second master Ying said with a serious face. We are on a business trip this time, and there is travel allowance in our salary. If the fourth master is told that this is our hometown, the travel allowance will definitely be gone, and our annual leave may even be deducted. It sounds like something the fourth master can do. No, in the entire human race, I am afraid that only the fourth master can do such a thing. One thing to say, one thing to say. In terms of life, Yang Erye has more and more room for improvement since he studied with Shura. You can't be too Shura in life. Hearing this, the bad woman howled and cried again as she thought about the organization of her nightmare army. I can't hold back my tears. As the 2nd century-old employee of the Nightmare Legion, I didn't even get severance pay when I resigned, and I had to go back to Shadow and work as an intern. What kind of human grievance is this? A 100-year-old devil, who suffered a midlife workplace crisis, returned to his hometown, was moved by the scene, and burst into tears online. Wow, I miss Master Ju. Don't cry, don't cry. Look, your little bear. The black shadow fell and came to the Demon King's palace of the 5th demon god. On the map controlled by the human race, the Demon King's palace of the 5th demon god was marked as extremely dangerous. The entrance is guarded by a powerful demon bear, a genuine level 989 bear who once fought 1 against 3 without losing. Little bear, look who's back. The strong voice of the bad woman sounded. Hearing this sound, the hair on the black bear's body instantly stood up and began to shiver. He remembered the fear of being dominated by some madman. The bad woman looked at the little bear she hadn't seen for many years. Have you been good during my absence? The black bear nodded quickly and even turned over, exposing its belly. This demonic war god with a notorious reputation was as docile as an old dog at the moment. By the way, I brought you some gifts, you will definitely like them. As she spoke, the bad woman pushed out a shopping cart and took out a box of food. Black Bear glanced at it and saw 2 words clearly written on the box, dog food. Shelf life, 3 years. The production date was probably 96 years ago. He tore open the packaging bag, took out a 3-meter-long spoon, and filled it with a full spoonful. The bad woman said softly. Be good little bear, it's time to eat. Black Bear. Kill me, now. The 9th Abyss, Demon Emperor's Palace. When the 5th demon god questioned Ying San, he and Ye Bai got the answer in their hearts almost at the same time. My son, is he also in the shadow? Oops, 2nd Master Ying is the son of the 5th demon god. Ye Bai never expected that. He could be stabbed in the back twice by the 2nd Master Ying on the same day. Master Ju, where did you get these monsters and ghosts from? 4th Master, it's not entirely your fault. Ying San said honestly. Master Ju didn't leave you any instructions before going to the Abyss of Power, right? Everyone in the first 3 shadows knows the true identity of the 2nd shadow. However, no one took this matter seriously. Ying San can stay in the shadow, what does Ying Yingyi have to be afraid of? The 2nd Master Ying is the son of the devil, and there is a high probability that the 3rd shadow was also a devil back then. Ye Bai rolled his eyes. This one is more cruel than the other one. Ye Bai couldn't help but be curious about Ying Yi's identity and what kind of surprise he would bring to him. Based on Ye Bai's understanding of 2nd Master Ying, even if he has to go home, he will prioritize the execution of tasks. In terms of professionalism, Ying Erye is full of praise. After all, Second Master Ying is a man who relies on his salary to live. Wait, go home? Yabai raised his eyebrows, took out paper and pen, and started writing quickly. Note, the travel subsidy for Ying Tu's mission has been cancelled, and the fifth demon god glanced at it, feeling a little strange. Shura, what are you doing? Ying-san honestly said. Gathering your son's wool. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjai Old Thief. Chapter 474. Third Master is good at everything, but he is a little too honest. Putting away the note, Yabai turned his attention back to the battle situation in front of him. Second Master Ying is the son of the fifth demon god. Although this incident was unexpected, but considering it was Yingju's handiwork, it makes sense. Ying Er has been working in the shadows for many years, and has made great contributions to his work. He has also stayed with Master Ju for such a long time, learning how to behave. Abandoning the darkness and embracing the light made Ying Erwan understand. No matter it is a bad woman or a bad man, they will not lack great virtue in the face of big matters of right and wrong. When he met the nightmare, Ying Er was thinking about running away from home. Who would have thought that leaving home would last 100 years? The second episode of the young man leaving home. What's more, when Yabai initially arranged for second Master Ying to go to the fifth abyss, he didn't give him any important tasks. Ying Er went over, to put it simply, it was called stealing. To put it more complicated, it is to take advantage of the fifth devil's absence to see if there are any other valuable things and move them back. If you think about it from this perspective, sending Master Ying, who is most familiar with the fifth abyss, seems to be an excellent choice. It's a mistake. Putting aside the second Master Ying, doesn't the fifth demon god have any responsibility at all? My son is actually alive, haha. The fifth demon sneered. That's right, this seems to be his handiwork. Even if he is an enemy, even if the other party leaves him endless nightmares. The fifth demon god also had to admit one thing. The magical charm of nightmares. Even the son of the devil can be kidnapped. The two masses of black mist behind the fifth demon god obviously did not know these inside stories, and they did not bother to know. A group of black mist stepped forward, its voice was clear and melodious. This is the new generation of the most powerful seed of the human race, Shura. Yabai patted Su Qingfeng's shoulder and said seriously. Yes, he is. Su Qingfeng. Demons. Telling lies with your eyes open. Carrying shamelessness to the end is also a kind of talent. I have long admired my name. From another group of black mist, there was a burst of laughter. The Lord we serve has come to keep the appointment in accordance with the agreement made by the most powerful being. Yabai. The promise of the strongest existence. It is known that there are only 4 people who can be called the strongest beings. Nightmare, Wuhan, Xiaoao, the most powerful demon. Could the so-called agreement be the agreement between Xiaoao and the most powerful demon? He Wu saw Yabai's doubts and snorted coldly in his heart. A prompt popped up in front of Yabai's eyes. The inner activities behind the black mist, this guy who knows nothing seems to have been sent to die. After he dies, I will return to the Eternal Tower, and the most powerful existence will have a truce for 36 years, and everyone will be happy. Why does he keep staring at me with such a weird expression on his face? Can he see through my inner thoughts? The following content cannot be displayed. Yabai dismissed Heiwu's inner conjecture. At this glance, I don't understand the third brother. Neither understand how scary the third brother is, nor how powerful the third brother is. Yabai believes that as long as Xiaoao is willing, the most powerful demon is willing to continue the truce. However, Yabai couldn't figure out one thing clearly. Why didn't the third brother mention the agreement between Xiaoao and the most powerful demon god to him? Yabai looked past the 2 black fogs and looked at the cube that sealed the 1000 level existence. Ding. Yebai's heart skipped a beat. He had a bad guess. Etc. Yebai took a breath of cold air and asked bitterly. Could it be that the one sealed here is the demon ancestor? Congratulations, you got it? Black Mist also gave the same answer. Ying-san was even confused and looked at Yebai. Fourth Master, don't you know that the demon ancestor is level 1000? How did I know this? Yebai wanted to cry but had no tears, and could neither laugh nor cry. It's over, it's really over this time. Xiaoao did tell him about this fight in advance and said hello. Only. Xiaoao told Yebai in a very happy way. You will meet the ancestor of the devil, kill him if you can. Be concise and to the point. Laughing to death, I didn't understand it at all. Yebai showed an expression of sudden realization. Got it all. No wonder when Qing Ying-san helped out before. Ying-san said that he must break through the defense first before he can beat the demon ancestor to level 989. What Ying-san meant by breaking the defense was to lower the demon ancestor from level 1000 to level 999. Ying-san once told Yebai that he could deal with enemies below level 1000. The ancestor of demons is beyond the scope of his abilities and is in the blind spot of Ying-san's strength. Xiaoao knew that the demon ancestor was level 1000, and so did Ying-san. Everyone who needs to know knows this. Only Yebai doesn't know. Trap the strongest seeds. If he had known that the demon ancestor was level 1000, Yebai would have shaken a few more people. Looking around now, besides Ying-san, there is only Su Qingfeng. Yebai raised his hand and said proactively. I still have a few small questions about this fight. As a participant in the war, even if he dies, let him die clearly, right? What's more, Yebai didn't think he would die. Even if all the unfavorable factors were considered, Yebai would still have the means to survive in the worst-case scenario. Otherwise, with his character, he would never have stepped into the ninth abyss and come here. After receiving his approval, Yebai asked. Did the demon ancestor single out a group of us, or did a group of us surround him? Black Mist. This is too much. Among the most powerful seeds of the human race, how could there be a guy with an abnormal style of painting? Nightmare, Wuhan, and Xiaoao, these three generations of the strongest, each lead the way. Not only are they extremely powerful, but they also have extraordinary temperament. How come you got pulled over by Shura? Black Mist is patient. According to the agreement, any existence below level 1000 can take action. This sentence saved Yebai's off-site rescue. Third Master, it's up to you. Regarding breaking the defense, Yebai doesn't have any ideas yet, so he can give it a try. If it doesn't work, just use Huangji to blast him. After breaking through the defense, Ying-san's help is needed to lower the demon ancestor to level 989 before making plans. The battle is roughly divided into 3 stages. If anything goes wrong in any stage, Yebai will be in a life and death crisis and be forced to use Tianqing Qing. But after the Qing dynasty, Yebai really didn't have many ways to save his life. While Yebai was thinking hard, the laughter of the 9th demon god rang out in the demon emperor's palace. GGG, GG, GGGG. Ying-san glanced at the 9th demon god. Fourth Master, he is laughing at you. The 5th demon god's tacit understanding of Gonghuo Dao. With my bad temper, I wouldn't be able to bear this. If you can't kill the 5th demon, you can't kill the 9th one. Those who watch the fun never take it too seriously. Today is a good day for the fall of the 5th demon. It would be even better if you could buy one, get one free, and get a 9th demon. Yebai fell into silence, saying nothing, and began to doubt life. A reminder flashed before his eyes. Password duplication check rate, 100%. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjai Old Thief. Chapter 475. Translation, what is a special surprise? Ye Bai never expected that the ninth demon god could match the code. I see. Another doubt in Ye Bai's heart was solved. Yingju sent a message from the Supreme Abyss and sent a letter to Ye Bai. In the letter, Master Ju only left a password, but did not say the most important thing, what to do after finding the undercover agent. The truth comes out. What Ju Ye means is very simple. The ninth demon god is an undercover agent, don't beat him to death. This code is the life-saving talisman of the ninth demon god. 3 years and 3 years, 3 years and 3 years. The undercover agent has become the ninth demon god, and Master Ju has not yet taken him back. After thinking about this matter clearly, Ye Bai remained calm and asked again. What's the bargaining chip behind this fight? The ancestor of level 1000 demons and Shura, the future star of the human race, are both heavyweights. Even if the king of fighters had a fight together, the prize would be tens of millions. Ye Bai was more curious about what the mighty demon would give in exchange. The black mist rolled, and he hesitated a little, but finally answered the question. You fight against the demon ancestor, no matter what the outcome is, my lord will show Yingju the way. Show the way? Yingju ran to the strong abyss just to find Xueju's body. Thinking of this, Ye Bai's face darkened and the corners of his mouth twitched. That old guy, isn't he lost? Ying San was at the side and added a touch of care. Juyu has a very poor sense of direction, and, Juyu can't draw a map. No way, no one can even navigate with SSS level talents. Ignoring the frivolous words, Ye Bai began to seriously think about the next battle. Wait a moment, I'll put some eye drops first. Ye Bai took out a piece of eyewash material and put 1 drop in each eye. Wow! It's the taste of third awakening. Congratulations! Get 2 chances to use the official version of Sage Mode with Krypton Gold. After washing his eyes, Ye Bai concentrated his attention and looked at the sealed demon ancestor. Use Sage Mode to analyze the opponent's first move. Analyze or not. Analysis. Ye Bai only has 2 chances, and the only enemy he needs to deal with is the demon ancestor. Find a way to kill this level 1000 boss first, and we'll talk about other things later. Looking at the analysis results given by the Eye of Insight, Ye Bai looked a little ugly. The enemy is a level 1000 existence. Even if he is crazy, he is still truly level 1000. And the demon ancestor took action for the first time, with a high probability of using the demon law to try to kill Ye Bai instantly. If Ye Bai is successfully hit, even if he tries to save the world, he will not be able to save Ye Bai. This is a dimensionality reduction blow from the life level. Of course, there is still some use for shaving eyes. While analyzing the moves, Trinyan gave the solution. Let a being above level 990 block the knife for you, and you can survive perfectly. As for whether the person who blocked the knife can survive, that's up to fate. Ye Bai was the first to look at Ying San. The third master seemed to have guessed what Ye Bai wanted to say, and said seriously. Fourth master, I'm not level 990 yet. Furthermore, if I want to knock the opponent back to level 989, I must ensure peak combat power. It's best if I don't take action. After third master Ying refused, the ninth demon god turned his face away from Shura. What are you looking at? Are we familiar with each other? You're going to die, you're going to take the blame, I'll help whoever wins. Then there is only one way. Ye Bai looked at the fifth demon god with a heavy expression. Lao Wu, fourth master believes in your stable performance. The fifth demon god snorted coldly and ignored Shura. He has a mind of his own. He just wants to die. It doesn't matter who kills him. Ye Bai looked back at his only human teammate and said seriously. Qing Feng, find a corner and stand there to protect yourself. Don't embarrass Su Qingfeng in a battle of this level. Everything was ready, everyone who could shake it was present, and Yabai made the final preparations. The ancestor of the devil will die early and be reborn, come on. The demon emperor's palace was immediately cleared. The two groups of black mist wisely retreated to the edge of the battlefield and did not interfere. Regardless of whether it is the demon ancestor or Shura, whoever dies, they will have completed their mission. The ninth demon god also stood far away, showing no intention of ending. A wisp of black mist floated out, and countless black chains appeared on the cube, densely packed and twisted into a ball. Boom! After the first chain broke, the entire cube exploded, and countless black smoke instantly filled the entire battlefield. Coming soon. Out of the black smoke, a giant monster glowing red rushed out. It had 3 heads, 17 or 18 arms, and a protruding spine, which was terrifying. Kill. Rumble. Just as predicted by the Eye of Insight, the Devil's Law instantly descended on Yabai and wanted to strangle him. Ying San asked honestly. Take care of my son. In his chest, a fragment suddenly burst out with shining light. The Devil's Law was resisted by him, and his own breath was weak. The next moment, a figure stopped in front of Yabai, blocking all attacks for him. I thought I hid it well enough, but I didn't expect that you would still find me. Shura, who was supposed to be the protagonist of this battle, became a spectator instead. He was originally the body of a demon wandering outside the territory, always trying to invade the Eternal Tower. As level 1000 beings and the strongest members of their clan, they have to fight to the death with each other. The fifth demon god gave up all resistance, joy appeared on his face, and he even had the time to tell Yabai. Accident, as promised. After many twists and turns, this void fragment was sent to the hands of the fifth demon god. Just when the Devil's Law is about to completely destroy the fifth devil. The fifth demon. The fifth demon held it in for a long time, and then an ominous name came out. Not to mention him, even Ying San was a little surprised. The terrifying demonic law has fallen, preparing to completely block and strangle the fifth demon. Brother, where did your void fragments come from? If there are no accidents, there is still a demon god in the family waiting for him to inherit. For the human race, the death of the fifth demon god is not necessarily a good thing. A black wind swept across, and the demon ancestor targeted the demon of the void, and the two sides immediately fought. Sun Li. Countless laws of power surged out from the void fragments, and a level 1000 void demon suddenly appeared on the battlefield. The face of the fifth devil is even more ugly. Who would have thought that just when he was about to succeed, he would meet an unlucky guy and turn him into void fragments? The fifth demon god has shouldered all the demonic laws. With his current strength, he will definitely die. Before the war started, Yabai used the Eye of Insight to deduce it once. Yabai even shouted hypocritically, no. The fifth demon god resisted the demonic laws of the demon ancestor and accidentally exposed him. The most powerful seed? Things that are not even level 1000, step aside. The demon of the void said coldly. Brush. Originally, he could continue to lurk, waiting for opportunities to move. He even said it in his will and lived it by force. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjai Old Thief. Chapter 476. Well said, don't say it again next time. Yabai breathed a sigh of relief, there was no life or death crisis for the time being. The fifth demon god never expected that the void fragments he bought at a huge price would actually save his life at a critical moment. It's bad luck, it's a big mess. Unable to seek death, he did not continue to seek death, with a gloomy look on his face. The demon ancestor only has one chance to kill me. If you miss it, you will miss it forever. On the battlefield, the demon ancestors and the demons from outside the territory fought so hard that their brains almost came out. Ye Bai, who was supposed to be fighting bloody battles, was now eating melon seeds and chatting with Ying San and the fifth demon god. The two powerful men of the demon clan took turns serving him a powerful seed. How could this blessing be small? Ye Bai looked at the ninth demon god who was watching the battle, then at the fifth demon god, and asked curiously. Why is Xiaojiazi wearing a python robe and you wearing a dragon robe? The devil's aesthetics is more ancient and feudal. Regarding Shura's question, the fifth demon god snorted coldly and was too lazy to pay attention to him. Ying San's face was full of honesty and he said honestly. For the demon god, wearing a dragon robe is a taboo. He wanted to die, so he wore a dragon robe. I see. The fifth demon god wants to die, so naturally he has taboos. Ye Bai sighed. I didn't expect you, Lao Wu, to be an anti-superstition pioneer. I misjudged you. Learn a little trick about being a demon from Master San every day. Hiss. Is there something wrong? Ye Bai continued to ask. Third Master, just now you called me fifth brother. He is older than you. Ying San smiled honestly and responded with silence. The fifth demon god became interested instead. He loves being a shit-stirrer the most. If someone dislikes him and beats him to death, that would be a beautiful thing. Shura, you still don't know the origin of Ying San, right? The fifth devil smiled sadly. Zhen, I don't understand why Ying Ju asked Ying San to protect you. Ye Bai looked as usual and didn't care at all. This sentence was also said by the ninth demon god. Such a clumsy plan to drive a wedge between Ye Bai and Ying San? There are no doors. The fifth demon said quietly. There are two types of demons in the abyss, you know, right? Ye Bai nodded, the original demon god and the chosen demon god. The original demons are part of the most powerful demons, while the chosen demons are the beings beloved by the abyss. The fifth demon god continues to provide free science popularization for Ye Bai. At the beginning of the birth of the abyss, there was a beloved. Enough. Ying San spoke abruptly, interrupting the fifth demon god's words. Ying San looked at the fifth demon and said seriously. My information sells 99.99 million God of War merits in Wanwu Pavilion. It would be too wasteful to tell Shura directly like this. Laugh. The fifth devil smiled disdainfully and said. Your human currency is not easy to use in the abyss. Joke. He is a demon god of the abyss, what is the use of having the merits of a god of war? Ying San said seriously. Believe me, you will definitely use it when dealing with this person. The fifth demon god still looked unconcerned. Shura is greedy for money, and this matter has spread throughout the abyss. The fifth demon raised his eyebrows, thought of something, and looked at Shura. How much money do I give you, and you are willing to kill me? This is not a matter of money. Ye Bai carefully quoted a suitable low price. A Wanwu pavilion. Fifth demon god. For so much money, you might as well kill me. This sentence is particularly tough when others say it. But when it comes from the fifth demon god's mouth, it always feels weird. The gossip about the devil ended here. Ye Bai turned his attention to the battlefield. The demon ancestor has already gained the upper hand, suppressing the extraterrestrial demons, and will soon win. Logically speaking, since they are both level 1000, there shouldn't be such a big gap in strength. Ying San was behind Ye Bai and explained patiently. Although the demon ancestor has been transformed into a demon, he is still the ancestor of the clan and is recognized by the eternal law. The demons outside the territory are rootless water, repelled by the eternal law, and their strength is consumed every little bit. Ying San paused and continued. However, if the demon ancestor wants to completely defeat the opponent, he must pay the price. Ye Bai's eyes lit up. Is the demon ancestor going to break through the defense? Third Master, it's up to you. Yabai insisted on taking the fight to the end. A level 1000 demon ancestor fights against a level 1000 extraterrestrial demon. The 999 level demon ancestor fights Master Ying San. Level 989 demon ancestor. Yabai looked around and looked at Su Qingfeng. Lao Su, do you want a one-on-one fight? Su Qingfeng? I'm just kidding, I scared you. Yabai turned his head and snorted coldly in his heart, I want you to use my oven. Yabai still remembers this account. After scaring Su Qingfeng, Yabai asked Ying San. Third Master, do you need a breakthrough to fight the demon ancestor? Shadow 3 is currently only level 989, and fighting against the demon ancestor who is level 999 is a huge level gap. Under the suppression of Master Ju, the top 3 shadows cannot break through casually. But Yabai probably guessed that the limiter was in his hand, the shadow pattern. It is an object comparable to a jade seal in the shadow. It is rumored that those who master the shadow pattern can command all the shadows in the world. In fact, this thing has only one use. Unlock the seals of the top 3 shadows and let them break through level 990. He wanted to escape, but he couldn't escape this damn embrace. At this moment, the demon ancestor seemed to see death. This was the most terrifying move he had ever encountered in his life, the closest he came to death. A small arc of electricity appeared on Ying San. Roll. He stumbles, breaks into your arms, and wounds you to death. Level 989 versus level 999? The middle-aged demon whispered in the ear of the ancestor of demons. Behind the powerful seed, a middle-aged man with a simple face and a body full of bones walked out. For a level 1000 being, this is a serious injury. Shura, do you dare to take a gamble? I bet you can't do the third film. Just trash. Fourth Master, just wait, you don't need to break through to defeat the demon ancestor. Just as the demon ancestor was preparing to take action. A level 989 monster? The monster opened its arms, blocking the path of the demon ancestor's charge. Yabai believed in Ying San unconditionally, so of course he had to study hard. Possess the most powerful mark, kill him, return to level 1000. Infinite calamity. The demon ancestor was hugged by the opponent and locked his arms, trapping the opponent. The demon ancestor didn't pay attention to the other party. He stared at the most powerful seed, and when there was wind at his feet, he was about to pounce on it. The demon ancestor couldn't avoid it, and the two sides collided. The demon ancestor survived to the end and defeated the powerful enemy. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Even so, he paid a heavy price and fell from level 1000 to level 999. The ancestor of the devil was originally unconscious, but after being seriously injured, his head became clearer. Zilla. Soon, a white thunderbolt jumped from Ying San to the demon ancestor. Ying San shook his head and rejected Yabai's kindness. He looked forward, and in his field of vision, there was a weak and powerful seed, less than level 500. The fifth demon god doesn't believe it. In the demon emperor's palace, the ground was full of pits and a mess, with countless law fragments scattered on the ground. Do you think you are the most powerful seed? What are you betting on? Fifth demon god, my life. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjio Old Thief. Chapter 477. Damn it, Third Master. The moment the white thunder and lightning appeared, Yabai jumped up. Isn't this the third brother's immeasurable calamity? How come the third master also learned it? Wrong. Yabai calmed down and immediately saw the situation clearly. White thunder tribulation is indiscriminate damage, affecting both Shadow 3 and Demon Ancestor. However, Third Master Ying had already taken precautions and used some special means. The Demon Ancestor took all the damage and his breath dropped rapidly. Ye Bai began to think about another question. Where does the immeasurable calamity come from? Xiao Ao taught Ye Bai this move once, and Ye Bai used it to kill the most powerful demon. That time when Xiao Ao used immeasurable calamity to hack down the eternal tower, Third Master Ying happened to be standing at the bottom of the tower and was almost hacked to death. I see. From then on, Wu Yangja had been hidden by Master Ying until this moment when it was detonated against the enemy. Under the influence of immeasurable calamity, the level of the demon ancestor continued to decline, and soon reached level 990. Boom! Ying Sen completely detonated the infinite tribulation, blasting the demon ancestor to level 989. At the same time, he also flew backwards, making a big hole in the ground, unable to fight anymore. He has done what he should do. The next thing is left to Shura. Almost at the same moment, Ye Bai, who had been prepared for a long time, took action boldly. All things are born chaos thunder. The demon ancestor, who had just been struck by lightning, was once again greeted by chaos thunder. After the chaos thunder, a green wind arrow followed. Su Qingfeng's breath was sluggish and he made a small contribution. God killing. The green wind arrow hit the demon ancestor and failed to even break through the defense. Su Qingfeng. Kill. After the chaos thunder passed, Ye Bai decisively changed his weapon. With the shield of Cain in his left hand and the sword of the king in his right hand, he shot directly to reach for the stars. A scarlet wind swept by, carrying a faint flavor of the sea. Dracula and the Poseidon puppet appeared in two directions on the battlefield at the same time, releasing the vampire secret method at the same time, trying to weaken the demon ancestor. A long river of blood blocked in front of the demon ancestor, protecting Ye Bai from the demon ancestor's attack. Under the cover of Cain, Ye Bai outputs wildly. All the moves are thrown upward, and the connection between various skills is dazzling. At this moment, Ye Bai showed his super fighting skills. On the one hand, it was Tan Yan's guidance, and on the other hand, it was Ye Bai's own fighting talent. He who holds the shield is truly the most powerful seed. The moment of the battle was extremely exciting. The two groups of black mist coming from the abyss were extremely shocking. They didn't expect that the 1000 level demon ancestor would be so passive. From the beginning of the battle, he was at a disadvantage, and there were constant surprises. Now he is even being beaten, and there are signs of defeat. This kid is so terrifying, I can't keep him. The most powerful seeds that were despised by them before were now given great importance. The 5th and 9th demon gods who were watching were actually very calm. Isn't it the most powerful seed of the human race? They have seen too much. No way, there can't be monsters who don't know that the strongest humans are super powerful, right? The 5th and 9th demon gods showed contemptuous smiles at the same time. A group of bumpkins from the abyss, with high levels and short knowledge. There are nightmares, no traces, and carefree ahead. Even if Shura shows some real ability, in the eyes of the two demon gods, it is just normal performance. Which demon god has never been beaten by the most powerful person? It's a small scene, don't panic. There's no point in panicking. You have caught up with the good times. The 5th demon looked at the black mist and said seriously. If Wuhan were here, I would kill you too. The 9th demon god was convinced and kept nodding. If Nightmare were here, you might rebel on the spot. Change. The two demon gods silently shut up at the same time and did not continue talking. As demon gods, the most powerful beings in the abyss, they know one thing very well, Xiao Ao is always watching. That person's eyes never left the 9th abyss. In order to ease the awkward atmosphere, the 5th demon god focused its firepower on Shura and continued to humiliate Shura. So, you should be lucky that you met Shura this time. Ye Bai, who was fighting, listened to the devil's gossip and even took the time to curse. You curse again. Xiaoxiu, you'd better deal with your opponent first, and then worry about your fifth grandfather. The fifth demon lord let out a series of arrogant laughter, not worrying at all that he would offend Shura by saying so. Looking across the world, no one can kill him. Invincible, how lonely it is. Let's talk about it, let's talk about it, don't make fun of Tianli. Under Ye Bai's violent bombardment and Cain and Dracula's sacrifice of life and death, the ancestor of the devil soon died and was dying. In a very short period of time, he fought 3 battles in a row. It is not easy for him to be able to hold on until now. Ye Bai held the shield in his left hand and withstood the opponent's blow. There were some flaws in the demon ancestor's defense. Ye Bai did not hesitate, seized the opportunity, and thrust out a fatal sword. Stop the water flow. Thunder and lightning surged on the heavenly king's sword, and the thunder poured into the demon ancestor's body along the sword. Boom! The last bit of origin was also wiped out by Tianli's offensive. For a moment, the demon ancestor's eyes regained clarity and he stared at Ye Bai. This is the time to look back and leave your last words. He has died by the sword of the King of Heaven. The most powerful seed of the human race, a joke. You can't get rid of, the strongest, the fate of death. At the last moment, the demon ancestor could not be said to have lost his mentality, but could only be said to be furious. I will wait for you on the other side of death. Shura. This is a fate that all the strongest people cannot escape. You, the same. Ye Bai didn't care about the curse of the dead. Even if the other party is the ancestor of a clan. Even if the other party had reached level 1000 and became the strongest of the demon clan. If the weak eat the strong, they will become kings and defeat bandits. The ancestor of demons died under the sword of the King of Heaven. The heavenly king's sword kills the ancestor of a clan again. Thinking of this, Ye Bai couldn't help but pose in a chic pose, preparing to finish filling the cup. Hiss. He couldn't help but gasp. It hurts, it hurts. He almost flashed his waist. Shura was in a state of embarrassment. The shield on his left hand was scorched black and the bat mark had almost disappeared. In the battle just now, Cain was alive and dead again, which is called life and death for short. The ancestor of the level 989 demon, even if he was seriously injured, wanted to kill the opponent, and Ye Bai paid a heavy price. And the premise for all this to be true, Ying San successfully defeated the demon ancestor to level 989. Thinking of this, Ye Bai gave Third Master Ying a thumbs up. Third Master, be steady. Ying San, who was covered in black charcoal, was lying in the pit, weak, and he responded. If you use immeasurable tribulations to fight against each other, you will definitely kill 1,000 enemies and suffer 1,000 losses to yourself. Ying San is still alive, which is already a great blessing. Third Master, I'll help you think of a screen name. Ye Bai wanted to wipe the blood from his forehead, but he felt unspeakable pain all over his body, so he simply gave up and continued. You are such an honest person, so your online name is Honest Man. Compared with other shadows, Third Master is so honest. Ying San stood up unsteadily, spat out blood, and showed a sad smile. Middle. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjai Old Thief. Chapter 478. On the battlefield, the smoke cleared. Su Qingfeng's face was dull and a little unbelievable. He actually joined forces with Shura and Ying San to kill the 1000 level demon ancestor. The 3 of them were killed indiscriminately. Shura and Ying San were responsible for the random killings, and Su Qingfeng was responsible for Gaga. Thinking of this, Su Qingfeng quickly took out a bottle of medicine from his pocket and rushed to Shura's side. Quick, this is the latest version of physiological saline source of life, which has a strong recovery effect. Su Qingfeng spent a lot of money to buy it from Shui Meng. Thank you for your kindness. Saying that, Yabai took the saline solution and stuffed it into his pocket naturally. Dogs don't even need this. For this aspect of treatment, Yabai has better items. Since he was only level 499, he looked seriously injured, but it was not difficult at all to regain his full health. The third master is miserable. After being hit like this by an infinite calamity, it was a blessing to be able to save my life. If Ying San still had fighting power, Ying San would have easily eliminated the level 989 demon ancestor. It was really out of necessity that Shura needed to take action to help finish things off. As battle-hardened warriors, both Ying San and Yabai simply treated their injuries. Yabai, who was resurrected with full health, began to count the gains from this battle. You know, in order to kill the ancestor of the devil, Yabai spent 100,000 God of War merits just to ask Ying San to take action. This is just the deposit. After this fight is over, Yabai will have to raise money to buy the third master's thigh bone after he returns. Originally, the money was used to buy Yabai's life, so he didn't feel bad when he spent it. After all, no matter how much money you make, your life doesn't matter. But now that the fight is over and the demon ancestor is dead, the score must be settled again. Yabai felt so distressed that he couldn't breathe when he thought of spending the 100,000 God of War meritorious service. The ancestor of the devil will spit out this money to me even if he dies today. With this idea in mind, Yabai began to search for loot on the battlefield. The sloppy eye has now become the eye for picking up leaks. Oh, that's all it does. The remains of extraterrestrial demons, the best camouflage material. Demon law fragments can be used to create law weapons. The incomplete origin of the ancestor of demons, the three awakened eyes of insight must know its use. Void fragments inhabited by extraterrestrial demons. Hiss. Yabai hesitated for the last item. According to common sense, void fragments are valuable, especially void fragments that can accommodate extraterrestrial demons, and their quality is particularly extraordinary. There is a small world inside, which is not surprising. But the problem is, Sun Li has touched this thing before, it's so unlucky. Yabai turned around, looked at Su Qingfeng and asked. Old Su, do you want the void fragments? Su Qingfeng? Are you really sending it? Even the fragments of void that Sun Li had touched were enough to make Su Qingfeng's heart flutter. As long as you are brave, Sun Li is not afraid. Yabai nodded and pointed to the fragments in the corner. Get it yourself. While urging Su Qingfeng to get the fragments, Yabai ordered the ninth demon god. Go away after taking it, Xiao Zhizi, send Su Qingfeng away quickly. The moment the void fragments were obtained, Su Qingfeng was thrown directly out of the ninth abyss by the ninth demon god. If this thing stays in the ninth abyss for one more second, it will be considered bad luck. After sending Su Qingfeng away, the average strength on the battlefield increased a lot. Now that the ancestor of the demons is dead, although Ying San suffered a tragic victory, if forced into a life-and-death battle, Ying San still has the strength to fight. The most important thing is that no one knows how many trump cards Shura, the most powerful seed, has. It seemed that he gave everything he had to defeat the demon ancestor, completing the feat of single killing level 499 to level 1000. But what if he is an old coin? Judging from the brief contact between Hiwu and Shura, Shura's behavior has nothing to do with being upright. It was precisely because of this that the two groups of Black Mist did not take action, but looked on with cold eyes. Certainly. They can also feel that the two demon gods on the field are not very friendly to them. Under such circumstances, taking action rashly will only lead to a fight between the snipe and the clam, and the fisherman will gain. You two, have you had enough of watching the show? After cleaning up the battlefield, Yabai looked at the two black fogs and said coldly. Why don't you get out yet? Hiwu was stunned for a moment, and just about to get angry. He vaguely felt that a strong human race was approaching quickly. Shura, You are lucky today. Behind the two groups of black mist, an entrance opened in the void, swallowing the black mist in, and then left. Just as the ninth demon god was about to speak, his expression suddenly changed and he blurted out. How could there be a god of war entering the abyss? Part of the Supreme Agreement clearly stipulates that the human race's god of war cannot enter the abyss without any reason. The other party is now forcing his way into the ninth abyss. What is he trying to do? When the ninth demon god was shocked, the fifth demon god had already sat on the throne and even changed into a more comfortable position. The fifth demon god, who was watching the fun, sneered. Ying-san, if you don't leave, you won't have a chance to leave. Ying-san turned a deaf ear to the fifth demon's words. The fifth demon continued to sarcastically say. Or if you abandon the darkness and turn to the light, return to the abyss, brother, how about I help you regain your position? A divorce plan is a divorce plan. Yabai patted the third master on the shoulder with trust and said seriously. Don't worry, I have 100% trust in you. Ying-san said honestly. Thank you, fourth master. Before the words fell, a long golden stick fell from the sky and poked a hole in the sky above the demon emperor's palace. A majestic figure familiar to Yabai appeared in the southeast, with an astonishing momentum. Nightmare Legion, Deputy Commander, Wang Tianwang. The shaking in the demon emperor's palace hasn't ended yet. In the northwest corner, a red shadow appeared. The delicate woman yawned and looked listless. Ying-ai, a weak woman. In the northeast wind direction, a young man in black appeared, with a spear standing on the ground, his hands making seals, and his mouth muttering something. A murderous god suddenly descended, rising from the ground with murderous intent. Huo Tianyi, who was praying to God, had golden eyes, and wisps of golden energy flowed out of his mouth and nose. At last, a scholar came from the southwest. His aura was obviously a notch weaker than level 990. Even so, the lineup at this time is particularly terrifying. The human race dispatched 3 war god level warriors in one go. Why? The fifth demon god sitting on the throne opened a bottle of wine and drank it in one gulp. In such a big battle, even I can't be beaten to death. It's so lonely. Ignoring the other party's ridicule, Yabai's face turned cold, obviously realizing that something was wrong. The tired Ying-si rushed to Yabai and said directly without bothering to salute. Third Master, Ninth Master has returned from sending a message to the abyss of the strongest. Ying-4 believed that Ying-3 would understand what he was saying. To be precise, Ying-ju had just connected to the internet 5 minutes ago and sent back key information. 5 minutes. Wang Tianwang, Huo Tianyi, Ying-ai, Ying-si. This is already the strongest combat force that the human race can mobilize. However, at such a close distance, if Ying-san really wants to kill Shura, the result, I'm afraid only God knows. It's scary to have such a big battle. Yabai obviously understood the conversation between the two and rolled his eyes. I thought the most powerful demon god had come out. Shadow 4 is a bit strange. Not only did Shura not panic, he was even calm. What's even stranger is, neither Ying-san nor Shura took the 3 beings with the power of the heavenly god of war seriously. There's also kung fu chit-chat. Third Master, let me tell you, what is your last name? It belongs to a university. Yabai found out hundreds of surnames and carefully introduced them to the Third Master. Third Master, do you usually read online articles? Ying-san shook his head, don't look. Then you listen to me fooling you. Yabai said seriously. The protagonist's surname should generally not be too popular, so surnames like Wang, Li, and Lu won't work. It shouldn't be too obscure, otherwise readers won't be able to understand it. It needs to be both catchy and niche, so surnames like Ye, Su, Lin, and Zhang are usually the protagonists. Ying-san thought for a while, scratched the back of his head, and asked honestly. What does it have to do with me? He added, I don't want to be the protagonist. Ye Bai asked curiously, why? Ying San replied truthfully, if life is not hard, it cannot be controlled. It doesn't matter, the last name I chose for you is special. Ye Bai said seriously. This surname is full of support and a sense of security, and it fits your identity as an honest person. So, what's my last name? Ye Bai patted Ying San on the shoulder. My third brother's last name is Zhang. This time, Ying San didn't dare to nod and say it. He raised his head and looked at the sky, as if waiting for something. A disembodied voice sounded in the sky above the ninth abyss. Good. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjai Old Thief. Chapter 479. Good. This disembodied voice echoed over the battlefield, clearing away all the haze. The golden color in Huo Tian's eyes slowly faded, and Wang Tianwang turned around and left. On the contrary, the weak woman still looked listless. Her purpose in life is to fish if she can. What's more, Ying Yi had no intention of taking action. Laughing to death, I can't beat him at all. If on other battlefields, Ying Yi can compete with Ying 355. If it's under the Eternal Tower, Shadow One will definitely win. Unfortunately, this is an abyss. Unless the most powerful one takes action. Otherwise, no one can defeat Ying San in the abyss. At the level of Shadow 1 and Shadow 3, home field advantage is too important. Ying Si doesn't quite understand. Fourth Master, what's going on? The message sent back by Ying Ju was very clear. He didn't arrange for Ying San to protect Ye Bai. Of course, Ying Ju also added a sentence after the message. I don't think the problem is big. Then Thief's son values life more than money, so nothing will happen. Shadow 4 is confused. What is going on? Fourth brother, let's talk while we walk. Ye Bai pointed to the distance. After the events in the ninth abyss are over, there will be another scene in the fifth abyss. Ye Bai was a direct participant in the battle here. Ye Bai was just a spectator in the great show in the fifth abyss. If he goes now, he can just catch up with the best part without having to watch it at double speed. Now that fourth master has spoken, Ying Si can only nod. Okay. Ye Bai, taking shadows 1, 3, and 4, rushed to the fifth abyss together. World-famous painting, Ye Bai and his 3 bodyguards. The strong people of the human race are very civilized. They come in a hurry and leave in a hurry. In an instant, the demon emperor's palace, which was originally very lively with gods and gods fighting, turned a little deserted. The 9th demon god raised his head and happened to see the 5th demon god sitting cross-legged on his throne, with his loose dragon robe covering the entire throne. The 9th devil asked respectfully. 5th brother, don't you go back and take a look. The 5th devil snorted coldly. I am seeking death, not stupidity. I've had enough of the feeling of life being worse than death, why bother? The one on the 99th floor of the Eternal Tower has a plan in the 5th abyss. Those idiots from the Abyss of Power just accidentally got into this situation. The 5th demon god can probably guess what Xiao Ao really wants to do. It was precisely because he could guess that he decided to stay away. If it really succeeds. The 5th devil's eyes were dark and unclear, and he was vaguely uneasy. Xueju, are you really going to be resurrected? Ye Bai, who was on his way, had to take time to explain to the crowd. Ye Bai said seriously. I didn't believe third master from the beginning. Shadow 4? Ying 1 and 3 were not surprised at all. Are you kidding me? There is a strange 9th level god of war beside me for personal protection, and he also knows my true identity. Ye Bai spread his hands and said helplessly. Do you feel safer? Yang Si subconsciously wanted to nod. Isn't this the logic of a normal person? But considering that the other party is Shura, not feeling safe seems to make sense. Yang Si frowned and asked. Fourth master, what you mean is that? Even if ninth brother really sent Ying San to protect you personally, at first, you didn't believe Ying San? Nonsense. Ye Bai felt confused. Why should I trust the old guy's vision? If he made a mistake, wouldn't I be tricked to death? Shadow 4? Is there even the most basic trust between people and shadows? Wait, I'm a little confused. Yang Si tried to figure this out clearly. Because fourth master, you don't trust Ju master's vision, and you don't trust Ying San either, I can barely understand this. Regarding Shura's wonderful brain circuit, Yang Si could barely understand it. Then I still have two questions. Yang Si asked. Why did fourth master trust me when Master Ju was protecting me personally? Ye Bai spread his hands. Do I have a choice? After returning from the Eternal Tower, I looked down and saw an existence in the shadow that looked like a 9th level god of war. The other party didn't plan to kill Ye Bai for the time being, so he could only pretend not to notice and just go about his life. In the past, Ye Bai had no choice. Now facing Ying San, Ye Bai wants to be a safe person. Shadow 4 figured out this doubt. But there was another question, Yang Si asked again. Fourth master, how did you make sure that there was nothing wrong with third master? Ye Beifeng said calmly. Oh, I'm not sure. Third brother helped me confirm it. Under Ye Bai's introduction, Yang Si remembered the scene at that time. As soon as Master Ju left, the first three shadows were restrained by Shura, and each had their own tasks. Ying San volunteered, and Ju Yat arranged for him to personally protect Shura. From Shadow's perspective, there is nothing wrong with this decision. Ying San is very strong and has always been loyal to Ying Ju. Among the top three shadows, Mr. San has achieved the best KPI every year, often achieving a performance of 2.0. So much so, when Ying San proposed to personally protect Shura, no one doubted it. Of course, except Ye Bai. It is based on this suspicion, this distrust. Ye Bai did not let Ying San protect him immediately. Instead, accompanied by Lan Bangxian, he returned to the Eternal Forest and chatted with Xiaoao outside the Eternal Tower. After meeting Xiaoao, Ye Bai and Ying San left together under Xiaoao's nose. There is no such thing as the strongest. In order to express his determination, Ye Bai threatened fiercely. A familiar hoarse voice came from the tablet. Thief son, continue talking. He looked back and saw that Ying Si's mouth was blocked by Ying Si, hesitating as if he wanted to say something. I'm afraid that secretly, some kind of deal was reached with Xiaoao. The anonymous Ying Ju from the abyss said lightly. Ye Bai doesn't have to trust Ying Ju's vision. As expected of you, you are so detailed. What you say today, God knows and earth knows, you know and I know, we must keep it a secret. Ye Bai sighed and said helplessly. Whoever dares to tell Master Ju will be dead. Fortunately, the third master survived. The next second, a tablet slipped from Ying Si's pocket and hit the ground. Ying Si suddenly realized. He was about to continue talking when he suddenly realized that something was not right about the atmosphere. After all, I had just killed a level 1000 player solo, so I felt a little overwhelmed, which is normal. Ye Bai sighed. What a damn sense of security. From that moment on, Ye Bai truly felt relieved about Ying San. I see. You also know that Master Ju is a petty person. Ying Yi gave Shura a thumbs up. After solving the doubts of the shadows, Ye Bai suddenly thought of something and warned. Of course, these things were just Ye Bai's guesses and he didn't say anything. Ye Bai thought that the third master was going to be hacked to death. During the explanation just now, Yebai said a lot of bad things about Master Ju. Yebai alert.jpg. Everyone has their own secret, and Yebai is willing to keep it secret for the third master. Actually, it's okay to talk about these things in private. Yebai rolled his eyes. Don't use this sentence to praise others in the future. After all, everyone makes mistakes sometimes. I can't help it, I trust third brother too much. Yebai took Ying-san to the Eternal Tower for the second time. The time he struck down the immortal tribulation, he followed the Eternal Tower and hit Ying-san just in time. Online games, only I can see hidden information. Author, Minjio Old Thief. Chapter 480. You also know that Master Ju is a petty person. Everyone is waiting for the follow-up to this sentence. Including Ying Ju, who is far away in the abyss of the strongest. Yebai didn't expect that Master Ju was still eavesdropping. Hateful. Yebai said bravely. A petty person is as big as Huo Tianwang's fist. After speaking, Yebai pricked up his ears. Listen carefully. There should be the sound of a knife here. The sound of fierce fighting came from the tablet, and an old man named Huo uttered wild words. I have to punch a hole in you today. Obviously, the two strong men from the abyss were fighting. Yingju and Madman Huo were arguing about whether Madman Huo had a small fist or Yingju had a small mind. Neither side was convinced by the other, so they had no choice but to fight. Before Yebai and Ju could chat again, the communication on the tablet was disconnected and silence fell again. Call. Escaped. Yebai took a long breath of relief and sighed helplessly. After sighing, Yebai became happy. Master Ju is still alive and doing well. The two empty nesters in the abyss of power are expected to make new progress soon. According to the agreement between Xiaoao and the most powerful demon god. After Yebai fights against the demon ancestor, no matter what the outcome is, Yingju and the others will be able to get a guide to find Xueju's body. Master Ju has always wanted the most powerful mark. In his opinion, this is the key to resurrecting Xueju. Although Yebai didn't know much about De Menzi's father, the human king Xueju, he had a good impression of him. Xueju is a good person and can handle things. If he can help, he is naturally willing to contribute. After defeating the demon ancestor, Yebai was no longer eavesdropped by Yingju. Now he was full of energy and shouted. Let's go and watch a show in the fifth abyss. No matter what you can't do, you'll be the first to eat melons. In the mighty abyss, Yingju and Madman Huo had a little fight. After cutting down Madman Huo with one knife, Yingju lowered his head and realized something was wrong. The map he had treasured for many years had only a few earthworm segments crawling on it, making it extremely crude. Just now, a small change occurred on this map. An extremely detailed three-dimensional map with everything you need appeared in front of Yingju. Yingju smiled happily and kept nodding. My map drawing skills have indeed improved. King Huotian came up and studied the map carefully. On the map, there is a place marked with a red cross, where Xueju's body is located. Yingju put away the map, chose a direction, felt confident, and was ready to set sail again. Let's go. Go away, you bastard. King Huotian said angrily. You can go backwards according to the map. Is there water in your head? Shadow 9. Few people know the secret that Yingju has no sense of direction and cannot read maps. The reason is simple. Unlike other shadows, Shadow 9 is a real shadow. Like Shadow 4 and the others, after being killed alive, they relied on the Shadow Castle to survive and merged with the shadows. But Yingju has been Xueju's shadow since his birth. His world is upside down. Moreover, under normal circumstances, Yingju would hide in other people's shadows and only take action when fighting was needed, without him having to rush on his own. Even in the few cases where he needs to rush, Yingju is still chasing some powerful beings. Just follow the opponent's breath and move forward, there is no need to identify the direction at all. When it was Yingju's turn to look at the map, he was dumbfounded. Laughing to death, I can't understand it at all. King Huo Tianwang snatched the map and began to study it while cursing. I finally understand. You and I are not here to fight the most powerful demon god at all. They are here to lead you. King Huo Tian was surprised to find. When it comes to reading maps, he has finally reached the high ground of IQ. King Huo Tianwang regained the victory. Anyway, with the map and Huo navigation, the two of them were finally able to end their previous headless state and begin to move forward with goals and plans. After Huo Tianwang's preliminary analysis, a suitable route was planned. If we follow this route, we can reach the Red Cross within 3 months. With that said, King Huo Tian immediately realized another problem. Laoju, didn't you tell me before that we would stay in the abyss of power for 10 years? If you finish the work in 3 months, what will you do in the next 10 years? Counting stars while holding Xueju's body? Or chatting with the most powerful demon? Yingju has been planning for many years. Why is this plan so crude? Facing King Huo Tianwang's question, Yingju said confidently. Yes. It's 10 years. King Huo Tian pointed at the map and asked. It takes you 10 years to walk for 3 months. Ahem, my original plan was. Yingju hesitated and said. 10 years should be enough for me to walk through the entire abyss of the strongest, and I will always be able to find Xueju. As long as you eliminate all the wrong answers, you will always find the right answer. King Huo. I really have you, Yingju. Power works wonders, right? King Huo Tian put away the map and gave Yingju a cold look. If you find Xueju's body, you should be able to use Xueju's talent again. What should we do next? Let's find it first and then talk about it. Yingju glanced down. King Huo Tian followed his gaze, his expression slightly condensed. From just now, something was not right with Yingju, and he would not retaliate even when scolded. Until this moment, King Huo Tian knew the reason. Yingju's left hand was blood red. My apprentice sent the map in not to let me get out quickly. He wants me out anytime he wants. Yingju stretched out his left hand without covering it up. Blood red covered the entire palm, and even his forearm began to be stained. I don't have much time left. When the blood red completely covers Yingju's body, he will turn into a blood shadow. A monster that has lost its sanity and humanity and only knows how to kill. The atmosphere suddenly became tense. The air seems frozen. One person and one shadow remain silent. Huo Tianwang has experienced enough things like separation between life and death in his life. Even he himself had been laid in a black coffin. In a sense, he is a god who bears the name of killing, and death is a common occurrence for him. But death shouldn't happen today, and it shouldn't happen to Yingju. King Huo Tian glanced into the distance and began to make calculations in his heart. If you fight desperately towards the finish line at all costs, how long will it take to get through? If you do this, not only will Huo Tianwang possibly fall, but also Huo Tianyi, thousands of miles away, was dead anyway. If you think about it this way. No big deal. Reckless. King Huo Tianwang estimated that the 3-month journey could be shortened to 7 days. He spoke solemnly and asked the last question. Laoju, how long can you hold on? Soon. Yingju thought carefully and gave a reasonable answer. 10 years. King Huo Tian was silent for a few seconds. Yingju, you. Get as far away from me as you can.